This episode of Shark Tank will talk all about the cohesion between science and business, a very important collaboration for society.
Agriculture is something I've always been passionate about. Out of all the sciences, agriculture has perhaps the greatest impact on the well-being of the global population as humans continue to demand more and more food and shelter. Everyone wants to help the earth and help the people, but nobody can figure out how to make both economically feasible. Here at CropSense, that is exactly what we did. I'm looking for $500,000 in exchange for a 10% stake in my company. We've already had tremendous success. However, I need the financial resources to expand and continue researching.
And how do you propose making this happen? From what I know, it is extremely difficult to use economic profit and environmental health in the same sentence.
Yet that is exactly what we did. Farmers need to keep up with their growing population and ever-increasing demands for food. How are we going to do that? Plant more plants, engineer crops to produce higher yields? Probably, but here at CropSense we came up with a better idea. CropSense is an innovative farming technology that combats denitrification and tells farmers when and which places in the field need the most attention. So I present to you CropSense infrared crop sensor technology.
How does it work?
To maximize crop yield, the soil must have the perfect amount of nutrients. CropSense makes that possible. CropSense attaches to nutrient applicators and gives real-time data to the tractor driver about the field conditions. The device measures very subtle differences in the light reflectance and is able to determine which parts of the field have a healthy amount of nutrients and which parts don't. The data allows the farmer to apply more nutrients in the underperforming areas of the field, bringing up the crop to maximum yield in all places and therefore maximizing profit. Before CropSense, there was no easy way to measure where to concentrate nutrients, leading to a lot of waste and below optimal crop yields.
What about the environmental impact you were talking about? How will CropSense help the earth?
One of the biggest problems with agriculture is the misapplication of nutrients to the soil, causing excesses and deficiencies of certain minerals in certain parts of the land. This often leads to runoff in nearby bodies of water. Are you familiar with the dead zone in the Gulf of Mexico?
Yes, but give a quick description for our audience.
Agricultural land all the way up the Mississippi River builds up a significant amount of excess runoff because of inefficient farming practices. The unwanted materials and minerals travel down to the Gulf, harming vital ecosystems. There is currently an area of 8,776 square miles where almost no plant or animal life can grow because of a lack of oxygen in the water. Basically, the excess nutrients trigger massive algal growth that eventually decomposes and uses up all the oxygen in the water.
And how can your product fix this issue?
Our studies have shown that CropSense can result in a 20% increase in the average crop yield, which means huge profits for the farmer. This technology is the future for farming, essential for those who want to keep their fields as healthy and naturally producing more product than ever thought possible.
This seems like a sensational idea. Let's get down to business then. You're asking for $500,000 in exchange for a 10% stock in the company?
That is correct.
That values your business at $5 million, which seems a little steep considering the circumstances. Since this isn't really my specialty, I'm out. I have a good feeling about this product, as well as the passion you have for building a better world. So I will make an offer. How about I give you $500,000 for 17% of the company?
Based on our success leading up to this point, I think the product is worth more than that. Would you do 12%?
13% and you have a deal.
Schools and environment-related organizations are raising people's awareness on climate change. people are being educated on greenhouse gases that emit solar radiation and ways to reduce carbon dioxide emissions. We have a great responsibility to protect the environment. But people do not typically know how to change the current situation other than the very basic ideas, like planting more trees or walking instead of driving. Also, these traditional ways to protect Earth bring inconvenience to people's life, since people have to separate a time block out of their busy schedule to do so, and the vague result seems not worth the efforts. This is how I came up with a play bulb. This green product absorbs solar radiation and uses the solar energy to shine. It is sensitive to daylight, and it knows when to turn itself on or off. Consumers can adjust LED light to any colors they like to fit their current mood. I'm looking for $150,000 in exchange for 20% stake in my company.
This is interesting, but I need to know some more. What makes this appealing to consumers?
Well, if you're struggling between your obligation to take care of the earth and your desire to enjoy your leisure time, allow me to propose a solution to your problem. Playbulb Garden accentuates on sunlight for input, and it will provide you with customized light system and great sound system for your outside parties. In conclusion, it will decrease your electricity bill, delight your company, and reduce the CO2 emission. I mean, who doesn't like to kill 3 birds with 1 stone?
This is a great idea. Climate change is something greatly affecting our Earth. It is often hard to create a consensus that is important to the issue. Education is one of the best ways to fix this, so having a creative product like this is great. Wow. Thank you, Lydia. We will now go on a commercial break, but we'll be right back. I am in for $150,000 in exchange for 20% of the share.
Thank you.
Disease. It is taking our country. It is infiltrating our homes, our children, our pets. What can we do about this? I want to be able to have all the resources available to protect myself. This helped me create the product Everlywell. Doctors stopped making house calls decades ago, leading to time-consuming, inconvenient visits to the clinic. However, my product Everlywell promises health and wellness testing that is convenient, accurate, understandable, and accessible. So accessible that you can complete the clinic process in the comfort of your own home. I am looking for $200,000 in exchange for a 15% stake in my company.
Wow. Okay. You're very passionate. Tell me more.
Everlywell has 3 simple steps. You purchase your kit, you take a lab sample in the comfort of your home, and receive your results online from a board-certified physician. Our health tests fall into 5 categories: general wellness, men's health, women's health, energy, weight, and genomic tests.
I like this. This idea has great potential because there are many ways that infectious diseases spread. Infectious diseases can be transmitted from person to person by direct or indirect contact. Even certain types of viruses, bacteria, parasites, and fungi can all cause infectious diseases. I was a little skeptical of your kit at first, but you sold me on your idea. I'm in for $200,000 in exchange for a 15% stake.
Thank you very much.
We need to fight this environmental terrorism. Lionfish are invasive species to the Atlantic Ocean. Invasive species are capable of causing extinctions of native plants and animals, reducing biodiversity, competing with native organisms for limited resources, and altering habitats. The fish are capable of causing an economic and ecological disaster. Their venomous spines lack of native predators allow the lionfish to put the ocean in jeopardy. I say, if you can't beat them, then eat them. I cook and sell lionfish, and I present to you a new fish dish. I am looking for $400,000 in exchange for a 15% stake in my company.
I think this idea of fighting invasive species is a worthy cause, but it'll have to be a no from me.
What? Invasive lionfish are outliving native fish stocks and other marine species. The consequences impact the food security and economics, affecting over 100 million people. The native species that invasive lionfish are feeding upon do not recognize lionfish as predators and flee. In fact, they do the exact opposite, and this has been shown to be true. Small lionfish will often congregate around a lionfish, most likely believing that long spines offer them shelter and protects from predators. In short, these preyed-on fish see lionfish with potential commensalism, a relationship which one organism benefits while the other is neither helped nor harmed. Furthermore, ecologically important species, including the primary consumers and cleaners, maintain the health of the reef and the health of the other fish. Coral reefs are one of the most biodiverse environments on Earth, something that must be done to stop them.
Please calm down. This venture is simply too expensive and difficult to execute for me to help handle. It is risky and expensive to educate people on an ecological problem while also pushing to sell food items to customers. It is too unconventional and hard to market this unique food product. So because of that, I'm out.
So no?
No. Well, that ends the show. I think this is a great time to talk about the cohesion between science and business. Businesses seek innovation through science to supply the demands of society over time. These demands provide opportunities for not only the businesses but employees as well, improving the economy. Advances in science due to demand have created a stronger relationship with business over time. However, to have a successful collaboration between business and science, the idea must be practical enough to withstand the harsh criticism of consumers and shark-like investors.